ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's Game Poke. And today we're going to be talking about video game soundtracks. One of the most important things in any video game is the music. The music should be awesome at all times and reflect the story or even just the gameplay if it's something like a puzzle game. But more importantly, it should be memorable and for the right reasons, like this. And not like this. I am a big fan of video game soundtracks, and you know what, I don't know. I got lots of albums, lots, and I would love to talk about all of them, but that's impossible, because there's too fucking many. So we're going to narrow it down today to just 5. Nice little all-round golden number, and we will make sure that all of the soundtracks, in other words all of the games that we talk about, are completely different. They got nothing in common with each other. That way the soundtrack should be more varied. Because I'd like to do a video like this again in the future, because I do really love video game soundtracks. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get on with it. To get the ball rolling, we will start with a classic, the soundtrack for Final Fantasy VII. This is an epic game. So of course, as an epic game, it needs to have epic music. And it has exactly that. It has memorable tracks like this. Or this. Being the fact that it's an RPG, and probably the most well-known RPG in the world, I wouldn't be surprised if that's true, it has to have a very memorable soundtrack, and it does do that, and it has a very orchestral theme to the lot, whilst at the same time having something that's kind of cyberpunk for the time. Remember, this game came out in like the mid-90s, I think 97 in fact, and yeah, it has a sort of techno feel while still being orchestral at the right times, and it mixes it really, really well. There are a few little tracks that aren't all that memorable, but the main ones like Aerith's theme tune, or Eris, depending where you're from. It's strange, isn't it? In some regions she was Aerith, and in other places it was Eris. I don't know which one's right, I don't really give a shit. In terms of being the best Final Fantasy ever as a game, that's debatable. It's all a matter of taste, and the soundtrack is pretty much the same. I personally wouldn't pick this as my favourite Final Fantasy soundtrack, but it sure as shit is up there. It is an amazing load of tunes. It also has some of your typical tunes that are throughout all of the games in the franchise, just revamped. For instance, the Chocobo theme tune on this one. And more importantly, the fanfare one. In other words, the victory tune. See that? Victory tune. You could learn something, Final Fantasy 13. You piece of fuck. Shit, don't waste, I can't fuck it. Absolutely detestable little bastard. I can fuck now. When the delicious bastard cream soda buttery table flip over the cup, like you mind crackling back over nothing makes any sense. All that bullshit. I don't bananas. Next soundtrack is one that's completely different from the one we just mentioned. This is Doom. More specifically, New Doom. Now don't get me wrong, the old Doom had some fantastic tunes, but this, when I played this game, all I kept thinking was, fucking hell, this music is the tits. I know most people were thinking, yeah, look at the gore, yeah, the gameplay, yeah. I was thinking, I want that soundtrack. And the bloody soundtrack didn't come out for ages after the game's release. I don't know how long exactly, but it felt like a fucking long time, I know that. It's like metal meets dubstep. That's normally not a good thing, but I think it's done really well here. There's so many points, especially in tracks like this, where I keep expecting it to just go into a or a some sort of vocal sound like that. You just want the singer to jump out and start going, but he doesn't, because there isn't a singer. But I don't care, the soundtrack is amazing. It fits the game perfectly. If we could have had this sort of music style back in the day when the original Doom was released, yeah, I think this is what we would have had back then. If it was, you know, at all possible to even have it on consoles or computers back then. Which is fair to say it wasn't. And the album itself has something in common with Tenacious D. Every so often there's a track where it's just vocal speech. It's, what were the names of the things in the game? I can't remember, fuck it. You know how you normally get diary logs in some fucking first-person shooter story games? Well, this one, every so often you go to a stone or some bollocks and there'd be a demon talking, like he'd say, "The Doom Slayer came into the world and was a prat." You get stuff like that every so often on a particular track, like this.
In the first age, in the first battle, when the shadows first lengthened.
It breaks up the album kind of nicely, but I think it's done a little too often. They didn't have to have every fucking audio track from the damn game. Well, every audio demon track. No way is it every vocal audio track throughout the entire game, because there's tons of that shit. Moving on very quickly, and again to something completely different, Hollow Knight. Quickly want to talk about the game before we get to the music. I love the game. I got it digitally on the PS4, and I regretted that instantly. It would have been better on the Switch. Games of that nature, platformers, 2D, it's the sort of thing you want to be able to take with you when you travel and shit. For a PS4 game, well, the PS4 is obviously meant to offer better graphics than the Switch, but it doesn't really offer much else. It's one of them games where the trophies are pretty much a no. On average, most people are going to go, no, can't do all of them, they're too fucking hard. And the game, my god, it's fucking huge. Hollow Knight is a massive game. I really wish I bought it on the Switch. Now I have. I've pre-ordered the physical version. I can't wait for that shit. The only reason I stopped playing the PS4 version was I got so fucked off. Because it is a very frustrating game as well. It's one of them weird combinations where it's incredibly epic, but it's also a cunt, because it's so fucking difficult. I nearly broke my PS4 controller in half. And that's the first game since playing the PS4, since PS4 first came out. It's the first game to make me want to break the controller in half, because I've been calming down over the years. What? I have. Anyway, that's the game. The soundtrack is incredibly ambient and kind of depressing. It's very sad. It's nothing like the other two soundtracks you're talking about. Orchestral, RPG epicness, then badass metal dubstep shit. Now it's somber, slow, sad, orchestral again, but it's very depressing and very emotional. if you're in a bad place, if you're feeling depressed, do not listen to this soundtrack. It will amplify everything you feel. Although I have to admit, I'm one of them weirdos that when I'm feeling depressed, I will listen to depressed music. That's why I like Zastha. Yeah, I know a lot of people out there think that's weird. I understand how people think, oh, you should always try and listen to upbeat and happy music. It'll make you upbeat and happy. Bollocks, it doesn't work. Some of us like listening to pissed off music when we're pissed off, depressed music when we're depressed, sort of music to match your emotion. I guess that's the kind of guy I am. I want to listen to stuff that suits the feelings I'm feeling. If that makes a lick of sense. Truly an incredible album. Well worth giving a shot. As a game, yes, you've got to try it. If you're short-tempered, Kev, don't. It will fuck you off. It's very hard. It's a very hard game. But it's, oh yeah, Metroidvania. I can't believe I didn't say that before. Yeah, like Metroidvania. It definitely is that. The game seems fucking endless. You will spend a lot of time going, where the fuck do I go? There's no walkthrough, really, for where to go in a Metroidvania. There's, like, guidelines for them type of games. You can go here to get this and that to do that. But then you're like, well, I'm here, so I've done what you haven't already, but not what you said I should do, so now I'm lost. And you're like, where? That's a Metroidvania game. You're going to get lost a lot. For the fourth game, we're going for something that's sad but not sad, and is an RPG, so I suppose it bears similarities to two things we've done already. Similarities because one is by Square Enix, so it's like Final Fantasy. Wait, is it done by Square Enix? The text will tell you. And it's kind of sad in places like Hollow Knight, but nowhere near on that level. Life is Strange. This is a really good album. If you like soundtracks but you want there to be some vocals, like Doom didn't have vocals, you feel the need for there to be vocals, this album has vocals. Like this. As a game, it's very Telltale-esque. Going through a story, making your choices of what the fuck's going to happen. Brilliant game! The replayability is very low though, because once you've done the story and experienced the twists and all that bollocks, yeah, you don't really want to play it again. Trust me, I wanted to platinum the game. I think I have now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have. So I played it through once, making my own decisions, my own mistakes and all that. And then the second time I played it through, and yeah, it's... These sort of games aren't fun a second time round, but they are a great experience in my opinion. It's really worth getting to play the game and trying out the story and everything. But fuck's sake, if you're going to play the game, get it cheap. It's like Detroit. Detroit is another fantastic game where it's all kind of based on that first time you fucking play it. There's more choices in Detroit, a lot more in fact, than there are in Life is Strange. Life is Strange is more linear and more of one sort of plot with little decision changes, but Detroit is all over the place in your decisions. Still little on the replayability. But anyway, that's the fucking gameplay. The music for Life is Strange, sorry, went off topic a bit there. It's very sort of rock in places, bit of pop, hip-hop bollocks, not really. There's not a lot of any sort of rap crap. It's very somber again. There are a few upbeat tracks, but the funny thing is I don't like the upbeat tracks. I like the odd upbeat moment throughout the album, but there are like 2 or 3 tracks throughout the entire soundtrack where I'm just like, don't care. The best track is one called Youth, I think. I'm not very good at remembering song titles, so that's why I haven't Said fuck all about song titles up to this point.
The lovers that went wrong.
Very much worth giving a try. Game 2, but soundtrack, yeah, I would say the soundtrack's better than the game, really, because the game's got no replayability. Soundtrack obviously fucking has. Now I want to talk about one of my all-time favourite soundtracks, and it's not a retro game. It is probably my most favoritist modern game. I have done a little Let's Play of it before. It's the only game, really, that anyone will ever get me to online multiplayer on. I've done a bit of Rocket League now and then, but I can take it or leave it because sport. But this game we're about to talk about swallows me whole. I just get lost in the fucking thing. And there's a new patch slash update slash thing coming out, excuse me, in the summer, and I can't fucking wait for that. I think it's coming out in August. Anyway, the game, No Man's Sky. Fucking epic game. I can't go into too much detail because I'll ramble on forever about No Man's Sky. Let's focus about the soundtrack. Holy shit, this is otherworldly. Let's listen. As a whole, it's a little orchestral, but it's more about the ambience, and it's got its very fast moments and its very slow moments. It does make you feel like you're in some sort of sci-fi flick. Not Alien, maybe Alien meets Star Trek. Yeah, I think that's a kind of good description as how you feel listening to this one. Out of all the albums we talked about today, this is the one I've played the most. It just really sticks with you, and you can listen to it quite a lot of different times. Like your Hollow Knight, I find you have to be in a certain mood, whatever you choose, certain mood to listen to that. Same with maybe a couple of the others, but this one I always feel like listening to. And it does purvey a real sense of solitude. Yet that's really strange, because in the game you can travel anywhere, any planet. It's like the ultimate vastness in fucking video game history. Yet there is a lot of solitude. And it's quite claustrophobic, that solitude. It's very strange. Ultimate experience in fucking vastness in a video game, yet you feel really enclosed. I guess that's the broadness of the solitude itself. I know I'm saying solitude, not fine. Loneliness. You are strangely, incredibly lonely, but there's an eerie bliss to it, because I guess this game is just amazing if you want to get the fuck away from life. If you're stressed out to fuck, if you find yourself very busy, this is a great game to just go, nope, I need an escape from reality. Reality shit. Let's go in my little bubble. No Man's Sky is the perfect bubble, and it has the perfect music for said bubble. If you haven't tried the game, fucking hell, please fix that. Try it. I know it's got a bad rap, a really bad reputation, but that was only when the game first came out. It's one of them instances where we brought out a game, we made loads of promises, made loads of promises. Fucked that up, didn't I? But yeah, they really fucked up at the start. They didn't live up to one of them goddamn promises. But they've changed that! Now it's awesome! And the funny thing is, because it's been out so long, and even though it's now incredibly awesome, it's fucking cheap! Depending where you go, you can get it anywhere from like a tenner to 20 quid. That's physical. Digital, I couldn't tell you. But you gotta try the game. You gotta try the soundtrack. It's all awesome. Anyway, those are 5 soundtracks that we've talked about today, and I really wish I could talk about some more. Please let me know what you think of these 5 soundtracks, and would you like to see another video like this in the future where we talk about video game music, because it is so important in a game and it is so overlooked. If the music is incredible, it's memorable and helps amplify the emotions and the feelings that are pushed towards you through the game. If the music's meh, then the game can feel meh because of it, and if the music's crap, I'm looking at you, taz-mania on the Mega Drive, then it can kind of crap on the game as well. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you very much for watching this edition of Game Poke. If you enjoyed it, click like, comment, subscribe. The Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that shit, or probably do nothing, but whatever. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.